Welcome back to The Ed Show. Well, what we have here is a failure to communicate. The White House is losing the message war on health care. At least that's what the numbers indicate. Take a look at the new NBC News poll numbers. 42% say President Obama, his plan is a bad idea. 36% say it's a good idea. 22% have no opinion or aren't sure. And support for a public option has fallen. Last month, 46% favored it. Now, 43% favor it. 47% oppose it. 10% aren't sure. Now, I know these numbers are disheartening, but consider this. The right has played every scare tactic they have. They're talking about forced euthanasia, but people are still basically split on a public option. We haven't lost this thing yet. There are some more bright spots out there. I think this is a key number. 91% of people say they want some kind of reform. 60% of those people say that the reform should be major or a complete overhaul. That's a high number. Now, the Republicans are quick to point out that the president slipped in the polls. Let's see how the campaign of obstruction is playing with voters. 62%, almost two-thirds of Americans say they disapprove of how Republicans are handling the health care reform. How about the right-wing campaign to disrupt Democrat town halls on health care? Well, 78% say that the town hall protesters have had no impact on their views or had the opposite effect and made them feel more positively about the Democrats' plan. For more, let me bring in Time Magazine's Joe Klein. Mr. Klein, you've been around this, I think, a few decades.
A few decades.
Have you seen anything like
charitable.
This? We are charitable. Have you seen anything like this? I mean, it looks to me like the Republicans are making inroads with the public on lies instead of something that they want to stand for.
Well, one thing is clear. All the things, the Republican issues that the extremist Republicans have raised, like death panels and so on, none of that is actually in the bill. Yeah. And they haven't raised an argument about anything that actually is in the bill. So, I mean, this has been a classic, historic campaign of misinformation. And the party, the Republican Party has become an almost totally negative force in this country. It's the first time I think that it's ever really happened historically. If you look back to 1993-94 when I covered Clinton health care, the Republicans came up with an alternative plan, Senator John Chafee, that I thought was superior to Hillary Clinton's plan. It was a universal health care plan. This time they've come up with nothing, zip, nada.
If you look back at the Clinton effort and now the Obama effort, are there similarities when it comes to being behind at this stage of the game?
Well, the Clinton plan was pretty much dead by this point. I mean, there was no chance of it clearing the Senate Finance Committee. There's a very good chance that this plan or something will clear the Senate Finance Committee, and I would say there's an 80 to 90% chance that you're going to have something significant that's called health care reform by the end of this year. It'll be insurance company reform so that they have to cover everybody and can't drop people.
Wow, that's a big one right there.
That's very big.
You mean you think that insurance companies are going to cave and say, okay, no more pre-existing conditions?
I would like to see Republicans vote against that.
Yeah.
Because that, you know, there's near unanimity in the public that the insurance companies have been running this system into the ground. So you're going to get that. You're going to get these healthcare exchanges, which are absolutely crucial. That gives individuals who don't have healthcare now or who just buy it by themselves the market power that big companies have, and it's going to open the door to greater changes down the road. It'll lower the price of health care for small businesses, which is very, very important. And the third big thing that you're going to have is some kind of an expansion of the number of people covered. Maybe it'll go to the parents of children who are on the state health care plans, whatever.
But you've got Chuck Grassley, you've got Max Baucus, and Jon Kyl, three big Republicans. Now they're saying that
Max Baucus is a Democrat. You're not.
Well, he's acting like a Republican. He's the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, but he is quick to cave. He wouldn't even let single payer at the table, and then of course public option. He's thrown that under the bus.
Single payer wasn't going to happen this year.
But they were never at the table. He took that bargaining chip off the table, and that's what bothered me. He started with his bottom line.
The public option is is peripheral to the really important stuff here.
It's not. I respectfully disagree, because the public has been sold on everybody covered.
I've been covering this stuff for 20 years. You can have universal health insurance without a public option. What does a public option do? It gives bargaining power to the public against the insurance companies. That is precisely what the health insurance exchanges are going to do. You're going to have the market discipline of big pools of individuals and small businesses negotiating as a group against the insurance companies, which will bring prices down.
But, Joe, here's what Democrats expected. They expected a government-run program that they could opt into if they wanted to. They didn't have to buy it. They still had choice, could keep the insurance that they had.
They were never going to. Even the public option that existed was only for individuals who do not have health insurance now.
I can guarantee you that liberals out there that supported Barack Obama expected a public option that would be run by the government.
They were every bit as misinformed as the people who think there are death panels in this.
Okay, so the co-op. You've got the 3 senators that I mentioned. Now they're wavering on the co-op.
Co-op is also peripheral. The important thing are the exchanges. The exchanges are like these healthcare superstores, where you go as an individual, you buy in, and you join all these other individuals and negotiate en masse with the insurance companies. Brings down prices.
So exchanges will get everybody covered, no pre-existing conditions.
If they don't get into this bill, then the bill is a failure.
All right. And finally, the line in the sand for Obama, where is it?
The line in the sand, I think, is insurance reform. I think it is, the insurance companies have to cover everybody at community rates. I think the exchanges are absolutely crucial, and expanding the pool. If you get those 3 things, you're going to have the best year of health care reform since Medicare was passed.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Joe, fine. Great to have you on tonight. Thanks so much.